There we go. Yay. I'm happy to finally have gotten this thing on now. Yay. I'm happy to finally have gotten this thing on now. I don't know. There. Hopefully you can hear me now. Hi, everybody who's not here yet on TikTok. I am still up, still cooking. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. And so I figure I might as well finish with some of this stuff that I'm doing and talk to you guys at the same time. Yay. So I'm actually cooking some beans, some 15 bean soup, and I like to put greens in it. So I'm gonna put some of these collards in it. And these collards I'm putting in there are from the Watermelon Man, and they're not the prettiest. It's probably because it's been in my refrigerator for like a week, or almost a week, since Sunday. Today is Thursday. Is it Friday yet? No. But yeah, I think this is good enough to put in there. But yeah, the other pot of greens I'll just make another day because I ain't got no time. So I wanted to talk about money, and I'm not the one that's going to be telling you how to make money right now. This is a warning for Americans. I'm an American, and we need some money because there is we are $38 trillion in debt as Americans. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that America has crossed over into $38 trillion of debt? At the beginning of this year, we were at 36 trillion. Then it went up to 37 for a period of time. And now within, I think, 2.5 months, we skyrocketed to $38 trillion in debt in America. And that's a lot of money to be in debt. $38 trillion is a lot of money. And while we're $38 trillion in debt, we have somebody in office who is creating a ballroom, knocking down part of the people's house, keeping food stamp benefits away from people come November 1st, using it as a tool. Don't be fooled, you guys. America has a pot of money set aside so SNAP benefits don't go away. But they said, no, don't you release those funds, states. The federal government said, don't release those funds, because if you do, we're not going to pay you back. That's the reason why the states are not giving the people any money, because the states have money in reserve and they want to give it to the people. The federal government said, don't you give nothing to the people, because if you give away those funds that you have left behind, then we're not going to reimburse you for those funds when we do start handing out money. Now, I want you guys to understand something. America has not had a budget for the fiscal year, and the fiscal year started October 1. So there's no budget that we have that's been even a continuing resolution. That's why it was so important for on the 15th them to come up with something and do a continuing resolution or come up with another budget. Now, excuse me, I gotta wash these daggone greens off. But that's why it was so important for that to happen. But that didn't happen because we don't have a functioning government. And we don't have a functioning government because the Democrats are the only people who are actually working for the people. The Republicans have given up everything. And so since the Republicans have given up everything and is going to default to the another branch of government to actually govern us and that's the executive branch letting Mr. Trump do everything, then that's a dereliction of duties, by the way. But that's the reason why we don't have anything going. Because they said they wanted to go on a vacation while I guess no one figures this out. We have officially started living in a dystopian, authoritarian place that only one person rules and makes all of the decisions, but the person who makes the decisions has said that he wasn't going to talk to the people who he needs to talk to, which is weird. It's like a 5-year-old. Like, well, you're not my friend anymore, and I don't like my friends. What the hell have we freaking become, America? Like, this is shameful. It's absolutely shameful that we are in this predicament. And meanwhile, we $38 trillion in debt. So let me rinse this thing off. So we're $38 trillion in debt, and nobody is talking to anybody because everybody is having a temper tantrum like they 5 years old. I would say only in America, but no, that doesn't make it. This doesn't make any sense at all to me. You know, I don't get it. I'm trying to let y'all see what I'm doing, but I don't have my regular tripod up here, so there we go. So I don't know what we're gonna do because we're $38 trillion in debt, and we have to pay on it. Did y'all know that they bought 2 jets for Kristi Noem? They bought $200 million jets for Kristi Noem. They are using a whole bunch of money for all of these different illegal detentions that they're doing on all of these people. And I mean, like, the list of the abuses of funds just keeps on going on and on and on and on. And meanwhile, we are $38 trillion in debt. Like, you cannot make up this madness. Like, this is madness. And not talking to nobody. Like, who does that? I'm sad sometimes to be an American having to deal with stuff like this. But this is the cards that we are dealt, and I don't know if people understand out there the lengths that this administration is going to actually I guess make us go crazy or something like that. When he first got in office, I remember talking to some people, and I had asked, I said, I wonder if he feels like he is our president, because I remember Barack Obama and Joe Biden saying that, the Republicans may not have liked the fact that they got in office, but they at least said, I'm everybody's president. This guy not saying that. So if he's not saying that he's everybody's president, and he actually said he hates the Democrats. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not. I am a voter. That's it. I wouldn't say that I'm a part of the independent crowd. Although I guess you can say that I'm independent because I don't want to claim a side. I don't. But the only reason why I usually vote Democrat, not Democratic. Both Republicans and Democrats vote democratically because it's the democratic process. They be trying to get people with that verbiage and everything. But the reason why I vote Democrat a lot of times is because they typically line up, and I know that voting independent, depending on who the candidate is, I'm probably not going to get a win from out of that. and voting Republican is not like, they not really a party. They're not a party of America. They're a party of Trump. So I don't want to be a party of Trump. I want to be a party of America. So I vote American. And the American is Democrat. So hold on. Let me put this in there. Oh God, I'm gonna be up all night with this crap. All right. Gotta stir this. This is my bean soup. So this is how I have been making it through this time of economic downturn and turmoil. I make myself big pots. I'll show y'all. I make myself big pots of food. Let me flip the camera. Oop. I ain't really flip it. You see? That's bean soup with turkey and with turkey neck. So that's what I do. I make myself big pots of and this has been on the stove for a few hours now, and the stuff just has to meld in there. The collar's got to meld in there, and it will. I'm gonna go to sleep sometime real soon. I'm gonna decline your invite, mister. But yeah, I didn't know if everybody knew that we are definitely in some hot poo poo. The reason why they don't care to open up the government is because they already know they're dealing with an economy that's crap, and it's much of nothing to do with it. We have had to pay $1 trillion onto our interest every year. Well, this year, being as though we've gone up in how much debt we're in, we have to come up with even more than $1 trillion of debt. But this administration, has taken every gain that we can ever have. So with doing away with a whole bunch of the people who they consider illegal, which has been very legal people that they've been putting out, those people brung in over 100 to 200 billion dollars of money. The people in schools that they are not allowing to come here to go to Harvard and other different places, that because they want to punish the schools for not following the authoritarian dictator narrative. Those people right there are they would bring in even more money. They would bring, I think they said like $44-45 billion a year to our economy. And then you have other things like the SNAP benefits. When people get their SNAP benefits, they go to the grocery store and they use the money at the grocery store. Well, the grocery store not going to get that money. So then you have people who, this administration has been doing away with a lot of the health stuff, making people sick, right? Not getting their vaccines and whatever done. So if that doesn't happen and people get sick and they need to go to the hospital, but if they're not going to extend the ACA tax credits, and that's for us working people. If they're not going to extend that for us, then and they are not giving out, Medicare and Medicaid is like they was before, then the hospitals have been closing down. We don't have anybody that's going to be in the hospitals working for us because they don't have any money coming in, so they've closed down the hospitals. So when you and I get sick, we just might not have a place to go. Everything that this administration has been doing has been not good for us. I challenge anybody to tell me what good this administration has done for us, the people. We, the people, would like to know What good has this administration actually done for us? How has my life as a little working person improved during this time that he's been in office? How? I mean, I don't get it. I really don't get it. And he would probably say, well, he's not my president anyway because I'm not MAGA. I don't need to be MAGA. And unfortunately, he's my president whether or not I like it or not. So it's just, I feel like they should have demanded, the MAGA people, whoever else who has his ears should have demanded for him to actually say, hey, what is your health plan? And if he didn't have a health plan, if he didn't have more than a concept of a concept, then he should not have been allowed to be in office. I remember we used to make those same exact things for people who used to run for president before. And then they keep on saying, oh, they're gonna gerrymander, you know what? Let them gerrymander everything. You know why I say that? Because they think that the people who are being gerrymandered are going to vote for them regardless. It's going to be so funny when all of those people who they screwed over, like me and everybody else that they're screwing over, doesn't vote for them. All those people who voted red before, supposedly, because that's a theory. All right, that's a theory. But y'all, it's explosive. Go out there and see how our voting systems have been rigged. Like, for real. The voting system itself was infiltrated by different foreign countries, and the machines were they were compromised. This is not a conspiracy. This is not a talking point. Go look at it yourself. There's different hearings that have been put out from the Congress that has shown that our voting systems here in America was compromised, and every 10th person was dropped from the rolls from when the persons went to go and vote. So every 10th person wasn't even counted. You guys. And I know these things because I pay attention to what's going on. That's why I'm not on here talking and yapping all the time, because I'm busy learning what all is going on. And I know too much. Gosh, I know too much. So, I'm only going to get on here. I'm only going to talk for like the next 10 minutes or so, because I got to take my behind to sleep. But, I just wanted to point out to everybody that there's a lot of people who are out here spewing a lot of sayings, and a lot of people who don't know what they're talking about. I don't listen to spin. I go straight to the source to find out my information. So nobody can come to me and say, Senator so-and-so or Representative so-and-so said yada, yada, yada. If they said whatever they said on video or while they were at their jobs, meaning like on Capitol Hill, then all of us, not all of us, but a lot of us still have PBS, Public Broadcasting System. And on PBS or another local television station, every time a member of Congress, whether or not their House or their Senate, it's broadcasted live on TV, on public broadcasting TV. It is live. And you can watch it go down and see it for yourself live and in person. You don't have to listen to what anyone else says. You don't have to listen to the news. You can see this stuff as it's happening. It's so many people out here lying about things. But if you just went to the source and saw these hearings live, then you would walk out with no question as to what happened when Cash Patel gets up on there, or Christy Nome gets up on there and says whatever, or pick any secretary that you want to. Mr. Hegseth said blah blah blah. You can watch it happen before anybody has any spin to say about anything. It's live on TV. You see this hearing as it's happening, as the people are getting questioned and interviewed. You can see it. And I'm telling you, it's 10 times, if not 100 times more entertaining and jaw-dropping to watch every hearing as it's happening. Because it's some stuff. And what you pick up from out of it is probably not always going to be the same thing that someone else picks up and they even report on TV or the news, the radio, whatever. It's not going to all be the same thing. So what I want you guys to do is go to congress.gov and go and look at, you can look at stuff live on there. You can get the transcripts of things. You can see every last HR yada yada, pick a number, every piece of legislation that they put out there. You can see it. You can print it out. You can have it for yourself. I wholeheartedly think that everybody needs to go out there and Google Project 2025. And you need to read it, because what is happening right now with the food stamps, it's in Project 2025. It's in like the 800s pages, 800s or something, 820 something or whatever. But it's in there. It's already a plan to take everybody's safety nets. That's what it's underneath of, safety net, away. Yes, they want you to starve. They want your children to starve. They're using this as a pawn. The president said it himself out his mouth. While the government is shut down, we can get a lot of things done. We can stop a lot of the Democrat programs. The Democrat programs is SNAP programs. The Democrat programs is Section 8. Democrat programs is Medicaid and Medicare. The Democrat programs is Head Start. Did you know that they're not paying for Head Start either? Did you know that people don't have a place to send their children for daycare? So even if you don't work for the federal government, you still can't go to work because you ain't got no babysitter. Now they tell you that you need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. They tell you that you need to go out and get a job. They tell you to stop being a welfare queen. And then they put up every last roadblock that they can in front of you so you do not succeed. And if you're a person like me who works really stupid hard, and you can afford a can of tuna fish and it not hurt you, how dare you? How dare you? So a person like me, they turn around and they say, you can't have any help with anything. And if you have a sour, bitter ex anything, and they take you to court, then they look at you and they go, oh, she got it together. Can't have this. And then they put something against you in court. And it makes sure that you got to pay forever for something or other, or, just literally going to court is expensive. Getting a lawyer is expensive. And then getting in court, you got to pay for that too. So they make sure that you never, ever, ever get ahead. And this is not about me. Just look at all of the people that had to go before the court, like Letitia James and Mr. Comey and what's that other person? Yeah, all those people that he's going after on frivolous little things. even though those are frivolous little things and he probably knows he'll never ever win, they have to pay those legal fees. Because how dare they succeed? How dare they? So, and that's on the upper levels. You think it's just them? No. I seen an interview today with this woman from DC. I'm in the DC area. This woman, this woman from DC didn't do anything, but she got arrested and charged with something she didn't do, obstructing police or something like that or whatever. She got arrested for those things. And they took her in and they tried to get a indictment. They couldn't get a grand jury indictment. 3 times they made this woman go up there, and 3 times they made this woman go up there, and 3 times she didn't. So then they took the charges and they reduced them down to a misdemeanor so she can go into court and face some charges. Then when she faced those charges, she had a jury, and the jury said, nope, we're not doing it. So she got not away with it, but she got out of the situation without being prosecuted. But it took her time, money, and different court battles for all of that to go down. So she, they put her in a position. So that's what's happening out here. That is what's happening out here. But during that time, also, we're $38 trillion in debt. We're not paying on that $38 trillion that we're in debt. I don't know if you know, but the dollar has lost about 20% of its value in the past couple of months. And that's on top of the couple of, like maybe 20% that it lost early. So we're down like maybe 30-40% of the dollar's value of how much it was in the beginning of this year. Yes, we are still the world's currency, so a dollar is kind of sort of technically still a dollar, but we are fast tracking on the way to lose our standing, and the economy is crashing. And the reason why you don't know those things is if you haven't been paying attention to what's been going on, you don't know those things. But if you had been paying attention to what's going on, you would know those things, but I would say unofficially. Because officially, they haven't had anybody to be in office because the federal government's been closed down to give you an actual report on how those things are affecting you. Now, there's been a mass firing within the past couple of days with Target, with Amazon, with Walmart, and a few other different companies. I mean, I want to say it was maybe about 10 different companies. And I mean, hundreds of thousands of people have been fired just in the past couple of months. But in the past couple of days, there's been at least 200,000 people more who's been fired. Now, earlier this year it was 60,000 this and 20,000 that and 30,000 this, that, and the other. Yes. I think it was 30,000 people from Amazon that just got fired yesterday. So what I'm saying is there's so many people that's getting fired. Millions of people have gotten fired this year. About 2 million. 275 of those have been federal government workers. And they just put out a list of another, I think it was 4 or 5,000. But a judge stopped that for right now during the shutdown. And they have a laundry list of even more people that they want to fire. And so it's hard out here. I say, I did a video at the beginning of this year, and I said, everybody should save money as best as possible, prep as much as possible, do what I'm doing. I eat beans and rice and my greens. I put it in a pot. The pot will last me for a week. I can eat off that pot for a week. That's my food. Okay. Who needs Ozempic when you got Trump in office? We ain't got no money, so we can't eat. I haven't gotten paid in over a month. So, and all of us are trying to figure out how in the world we are going to survive. How in the world are we going to make ends meet? I'm going to have to start driving for Uber. And I'm not going to have any time. I'm going to have my job that I go to that I don't get paid for. And then I'm going to have to go and drive for Uber that I do get paid for. But I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. I don't. And what else? Yeah. Then those people who are up there who represent us. The reason why it's so important for people to critically think is to open up your mind and the way that you look at the processes of what's going on. Because right now, we have these people saying, oh, it's the Democrats. Oh, it's the Republicans. I believe excuse me, I shouldn't have cussed. It's by design. I feel like the Democrats are kind of with this. Why in the world is it only the Medicare, the ACA, the Affordable Care Act that they're fighting supposedly for? It's a million things that they should be highlighting daily. That's the problem. 1,000,001 things that they can highlight as being an issue. And they can also reiterate to everybody that they can gerrymander all they want to, but the people are still not going to choose the Republicans because the Republicans have been screwing us all over. Republican or not, it don't matter. They've been screwing us all over. Hurricane Melissa is whipping us right now on the east coast of America right now. If there's flooding, you guys don't have insurance. I doubt if I have flooding over where I am. That's why I say you guys. But I'm really sure there's not going to be any FEMA that's going to come out and help you, because the last I checked on the continuing resolution, they didn't fund FEMA and they didn't fund education either. So if they didn't fund either one of these, do you guys ever ask yourself how they get money? How are they actually operating if they were given zero in the continuing resolution? The answer is really simple if you really just think about it critically, just for a little bit. If you've been paying any attention to what's been going on, the answer is, drum roll please, Elon Musk took over all of our money. So if Elon Musk and Doge and everybody else took over our money, Congress and whoever else pulls the levers of these funds really technically doesn't have authority over the money. So we Americans really don't have control over it. They're really doing whatever they want with the money that's coming in. Whatever revenue is coming in, they're over there like, it's coming in. People had to pay for their paychecks again. It's been 2 weeks. Somebody's always getting paid. And then they take the money and they buy a jet. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, this is really happening. They take the money and they buy a jet. You can't tell me that he's going to personally take care of all of the money that it costs to get the ballroom done. That's not his house. That's not his house. It's the people's house. That the title and the deed does not say Donald J. Trump. It doesn't say that. It says the people of America. So he shouldn't be allowed. That's illegal. That's illegal. He shouldn't be allowed to make any personal renovations on the people's land, on the people's property. Like, literally. Like this is not okay. But they have taken all of the access to all of the money and the levers to the money, and they are using them as they please. That's the answer. So the CR can say anything it wants. Anything. They still going to use the money and do whatever the hell it is they want to do. And when I put that video together at the beginning of the year and I told everybody what to do, it's on my YouTube channel. It's my New Year's, welcome to New Year's 2025 video. I'm in a blue dress. And I tell you guys, hey, you should change your bank account. Change your bank account. Change your bank account so that can be a fresh new bank account number that the government doesn't have on you. Because they're going to go in there and they're going to start taking money. I read some reports that says they really are shutting down banks. When the banks crash, they're going to take your money. When the banks crash, which they are almost doing, you know what? I take that back. They are already doing. Last month, a lot of different banks have crashed. The Silicon Valley crash that happened a couple of years ago, when that happened and these little people came in there, little old people putting, it's like, I have to pay my rent. The banks took your money. They took your money and they don't have to give it back. They don't. They have taken all your money. When you put money into the bank, you're saying, hey, bank, I trust you with this, and I'm going to give you this as a loan. And they take that money, and they go and they buy stocks and whatever else they want to fucking do with your money. That's your money. But you have said, hi, bank, I'm just so nice. I'm going to give you my money. Because I can't hold it underneath my bed. Somebody is probably going to come and steal my cash. So I'm going to trust you with my money. Okay? Okay. And then bank says, well, you know what? You're giving me a lot of money here. I'm not going to insure anything else over $250,000. Okay? So anything after $250,000, it's on you. Because if I need it, I'm going to use it. And you can't do anything about it. And then you go, that'll never happen. Okay. And then when it does happen and the banks go down, they take all your money. Up to $250,000 is still in there. And if they need more than that, you know what's going to happen? They're going to take that too. And they're going to take your little $1,000 that you got to pay your rent with, and they're going to use it to bail themselves out. Look it up. Do you guys remember when there was a crash way back before World War I? Everything on Wall Street crashed. I know you don't remember because you wasn't alive. I wasn't even thought about. Neither was my mother. But guess what? Everything crashed. And you want to know how we got all that money supposedly in Fort Knox? We got all that gold because America said, give me your money. They went to everybody's house and they said, give me your gold. It is your patriotic duty that you must give us gold and get us out of this crash. Because you know who crashed it? Rich people. Rich people crashed it. And then rich people said, hey, poor people, get me out of this debt. And so they said, oh my goodness. We have to, because if we don't, our whole economy and everything has already gone down, but it's going to go down even more and everything's going to be even worse. So everybody, the government came and took everybody's gold. They had to give it up. Anything that was in the bank, they took it. And the people were left with nothing. But we had to come together and bail out America to save the economy. That is the same exact thing that we are on a trajectory to do within the next couple of months, within the next few months. Who knows? I hope we get at least 6 months away from here. But in the meantime, what you need to do is diversify your money. Go get some other cash in another denomination of some other currency. Go buy some euros. Have some actual euros in you. Because after a while, when the dollar crashes and the dollar that you're holding is not going to be worth anything. Go invest in gold. Go get yourself some bars of gold or whatever from from Costco. I hope that you can. I ain't got enough money for that. But I can at least buy a couple of them silver joints. You know, I think they cost like $999. $995, I think it costs from out of Costco. You know, because our dollar is not going to mean anything. Go invest in some stocks and some trades and everything that'll hold. Maybe, I don't know. Stock market might crash. We are on a bubble. We're on a bubble, you guys. We're definitely on a bubble. And when it bursts, oh my gosh, that's why I ain't buy a house. First of all, I ain't got no money to buy a house because of my divorce. But those prices are gonna go down. It's not a time to go buy a house right now. It's not. It's not. And the last time I wanted to go buy a house, it was going to be a short sale. So hopefully maybe I can get a short sale when everybody else gets kicked out of their house and everything, because they can't pay anymore and they can't afford anything. So the banks will come in and say they'll try to, lowball everything and sell it for a little bit of money. That's maybe how I get a place. If not, I'll continue to rent. Because what did they say? I'm going to own nothing and be happy with it. Yeah, sounds about right. Because the reason why I'm going to be happy with it is because I don't have to pay for the insurance and the escrow costs and the thises and the that's and everything. They are really putting the screws to everyone economically. And what else I need everybody to think about, please think about this. Where are the tariffs at? He's bringing in all this money in tariffs. Nobody's talking about where those tariffs are going. Absolutely no one. There's a concept of a plan, just like the healthcare plan, and tell me how well that's working out. There's a concept of a plan of where these tariffs are going to go. Those tariffs are not paying anything. I don't care what anybody tells you. Oh, it's going to be going to the debt. They always say action verbs as if it's in waiting for something, which tells you that it's still somewhere, just not where they telling you it is. It is still not allocated nor put into law where any of those dollars are going for the tariffs. Where's the tariff money? They said it was going to go to a sovereign wealth fund. The Treasury has the money. Where is it going? They don't want us to look at these things that's happening because they are robbing us blind in our faces while they terrorize us in the streets, while they terrorize us in our pockets, while they make sure that they starve American citizens. I don't think it's going to go as far as being in a famine around here. But I mean, look, this is what our government is doing to us. They are actively, happily making sure that we suffer. Does anybody remember in the beginning of the year when Elon Musk was talking to Donald Trump and he said, yeah, the American people are going to have to suffer? And he said, yeah, they played it and none of the MAGA people cared that he said that. Well, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. All of those farmers who couldn't sell their crops, all of those farmers who literally went and took themselves out of the process, out of all of our processes. They stopped the train. They said, let me get off. All of the people who had investments that can't go anywhere now because they have to pay 200 and 300 percentages of what it costs to get their goods because of the tariffs. All of the people who lost so much with all of this, with their jobs overnight, they didn't know what they were going to do next. We are suffering. All of the people who, it doesn't matter whether or not people get their money on the first. If people are getting food stamps, I'm going to tell you, they already ran out of food stamps. They don't have anything today. They're hungry and they're waiting for 2 or 3 days for the first to come, and they are hungry and they want to eat. And just when they thought that they can finally eat some food, they can't. I grew up on food stamps. That's how I was able to actually have my stomach filled every now and then. I know how it is. That last week is the longest, hardest week of the month because you don't have food. I used to go to school and tell people that I ate when I didn't. Because everybody wanted to sit around and talk about what they ate and how delicious it tasted. And what did you have for dinner? Oh, I would lie through my teeth about things that I dreamt about eating. Not that I ate, because I didn't have any food. We would have to sit around and between all of us in the house, and it was like 11 of us in the house, we would have to sit there and take maybe 6 leg quarters. And we would have that. That was it. That and a little bit of rice. That was all we had to eat all day long. If we didn't have food to eat from school, in which they're cutting those too. The reason why I have a pantry full of food, thank God. But the reason why I do is because I squirrel away whatever foods. It's a trauma reaction from growing up hungry. Every time I get my hand on something, I put it away. I need to have 2 or 3 of these just so I can feel okay. Because if I don't have 2 or 3 of these, I feel like I'm going to starve to death and die. Because I grew up so hungry. And I cannot imagine the pain that these people feel when they have all of these kids and all of this food that they need to have for them, and they can't give it to them. They ain't got it. They ain't got it. Well, I'll tell you this. I've learned this. You can be at least 60 days behind on your stuff before they come and turn your stuff off. So you can be 60 days behind in your electricity, 6 days behind in your gas, and 60 days behind in daggone near every other bill except for your rent. You got to pay that. You got to have a roof over your head, and you must pay that car note. The repo man gonna come out and get you. But you can be a couple of months behind on things. But before that 3rd month coming, before that bill comes, you got to hurry up and pay one of those months at least. And then when you hurry up and get the money, you have to hurry up and you have to pay. And then you can start the process all over again. I do it all the time. You know why? Because of my divorce bills. And because the man, big brother, the man has told me that, this is what I must do. And I got to see my children. So I have to make decisions. How in the world can I scrimp and save over here, rob Peter to pay Paul, just so I can get by? That's what I do. I know I look good. I know I look like I got money, but I don't. I just look like I do. Filters work. And having things like this is old. This thing is like 10 years old, My hair is cheap. Shit is plastic. It's plastic. And I can do my stuff myself. I love do it myself. That's how I get by. And I maintain this place, and I, talk to my landlord, and I'm like, please don't go for my rent, please. It helps sometimes. It works sometimes, But, it's like, that's how we have to do things in order to get by. But we are suffering. And we have a president that does not like us. I don't care what party you are with. They don't like us. We should all go to the DMV and register as independents. Every last one of us. Every last person who calls themselves a Republican should go to the DMV and register themselves as an independent. Every last person that calls themselves a Democrat should go down to the DMV and register themselves as an independent. You will know why? Because that would void their gerrymander plan. They won't know who's who if you will stop telling them. So they can't gerrymander correctly. So everybody is independent. I will vote for who I want to vote for. I will vote for who best represents me, because this person has promised me that they are going to do stuff for me, by me, because I am the people. And if they don't, I'm not going to vote for them. I'm going to vote for the other person. And when did we all start having this theory where we just have to sit there and vote for only a party, one particular party? Come on, people. Come on. How many times does somebody have to, kick you in the foot or in the face or the mouth for you to, oh, dang, I don't think this person really likes me very much. They keep on kicking me. I'm down and they keep on kicking me. Well, you have the power to stop that. You don't have to vote for them again, for them just to kick you. If you're a glutton for punishment, turn to your friend and have him smack you a couple of times, Be like, friend, they be, shut up, stop it, no. Thanks, friend. Giving me some sense. Like I wish that somebody was there to smack me when I was making a bad decision. Okay, everybody. I'm going to get married. I'm in love. Okay. I guess that was the wrong thing to say. And if I tried to do something behind somebody's back, hey, somebody pull me. No. Okay. Thank you for saving me from that. I hope you guys aren't getting married. Because they're talking about taking away fault-free marriages now. They've been talking about that. Don't let it pass you by when they make those changes. And if you go to congress.gov and you watch them on the TV or on your phone, on a public broadcasting channel, what they're talking about and what bills that they're bringing up. And they're not bringing about bills that mean anything for you or for me. They're just bringing about bills for Trump. What way can they exalt Trump for doing nothing for us, by the way, for bringing no peace to this world, for bringing nothing but chaos? What bills can they bring? Not for anyone's benefit, but for our collective demise. Collective, because there are Republicans that go into these Democrat programs as well. It's a people program. It's not a party program for any of this, So yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. They're stealing from us. They're running up the debt. They're not paying the debt. They're not giving us anything. And we are the victims of taxation without representation. And our dollar is going to crash soon. You better make nice with your friends. See where you can go and move in. Everybody should have a roommate. Everybody should have a roommate. And everybody chip in and they pay. The person that doesn't pay, I'm sorry, they can't live there. Unless you can handle it and you could be nice. But you got to give the person a timeline because people value things a lot more when they have to pay for stuff. Handle it. And you could be nice, but you got to give the person a timeline because people value things a lot more when they have to pay for stuff. So my phone is about to cut off, which is good because I need to take my behind to bed. I'm going to finish stirring up this soup here, and I'm going to take my behind to bed. Yep. I'm going to let it just sit here. Y'all want to see? I'm going to let it just sit here. I think that's good because by the morning, it'll be all done. Yep. I got to go to sleep. And I got to get up. My window look terrible. I don't know what's going on with it. That thing is way too big and it's broke, whatever. As long as it covers up everything, I don't care. But anyway, yeah. You guys have a good night. And I'm going to repost this on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Master Reflections. And, look out for it. I hope you look at it. And you guys have a great night. And good night.